Hey, good morning. Michael Leckie here. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about learning to learn and how that sometimes learning can be found in really interesting and unexpected places. So here's one that kind of caught me by surprise recently. And I got into the car, and my wife had been driving my car, and the music came on when I got into it. And the music that came up was Megan the Stallion. Now, if you've listened to Megan the Stallion, she's a rap artist, and her lyrical content is pretty explicit, very sexual about sex, power, money, all sorts of things, being her own woman, her own boss. But she addresses it in a really, well, some might say crude, some might say very forthright manner. Regardless, it's also, quite frankly, very funny. But what's interesting about it is that what it made me think about is that it might be kind of awkward to listen to depending upon what company you're in, or your demographics, whatever it may be, because there's a lot of direct explicit talk in the music. But it made me think about awkward. And in my book, I always hold up a copy, The Heart of Transformation. In there, I have some things I call tools for transformation, help in learning. And one of them is what I call the awesomeness of awkward. And that change and evolution in our own growth doesn't happen without there being awkward moments, and many times awkward conversations. And in the book, I talk about things that you can do to ease into the awkwardness or ease the awkwardness itself, like hiding in plain sight and saying, hey, this is going to be totally awkward, but it's worth talking about. Or saying, look, really, thank you for bringing that up. I know it was kind of awkward, but that was really useful for all of us. Or laughing about it, just, if there's tension, laughing and saying, well, that was awkward, but I think that was valuable. Let's talk about it. And the last one is really giving permission. And I talk about a story of a consultant I used to work with in Canada who had a little stuffed moose. And she would say, look, if you need to say something, it's hard to say, just grab the moose and put the moose on the table. It was their equivalent in Canada of identifying the elephant in the room. And so when I think about what an artist like Megan the Stallion is doing, you could relegate her to, okay, it's just kind of, dirty rap, if that's what you wanted to do, and let it go. But on the other hand, she's talking about issues of power over your own sexuality, power over your own money and finances in your future, and power that's not limited or based in gender or gender roles, which we have seen and are still seeing today a tremendous amount of attempts to limit power based upon gender and gender roles. So it's a conversation that needs to be had. And it's interesting how an artist like Megan the Stallion, and maybe this is not what she's going for, and you could say, oh, you're reading way too much philosophically into just, her songs, and her dirty lyrics, if that's what you want to call them. But for me, I think it's really interesting because it has probably engendered a half dozen conversations I've had with people, just bringing up, we were listening to this like, oh, well, that's kind of racy. But then it's kind of segued into a conversation that was actually meaningful and substantial in our world today. So there are ways to learn everywhere. There are tools for growth and transformation everywhere. So just be open. And when you have an awkward moment come by, think, cool, why was this awkward? What can I do with this? How can I learn and grow from this awesome, awkward moment? Take it easy.